Tomorrow will be better. A garden is 28 meters wide. If its length is 10% longer than the width, find its perimeter. Follow me, dear friends. Solution. Let's begin with the perimeter. First things first, let's write the most relevant formula that can take us to calculating the perimeter of this shape. Clearly, this garden has a rectangular shape because we're talking about a certain width and a certain length. So, what's the formula for perimeter of a rectangle? We know it's length times width, all of this multiplied by 2. Having written this in this way, we can clearly see what do we have in this formula and what we don't have. The question clearly mentions the width, which is 28. Somehow, the question doesn't directly give us the length, but we know that the length is 10% longer than the width. So let me translate this information. We have that the width is 28 meters. This is quite clear. Now the length is 10% longer or 10% more than the width. Okay, this is how to write it down in a very simple manner. The next challenge now is to find this 10%, of course, of the width and then add it to this 28. So 10% of the width will be equal to 10% of the width. And if you do it well, we should have 2.8 meters. So in conclusion, our length is going to be equal to 28, or rather 2.8 plus 28. And this gives us 30.8 meters. Now that we have all the elements of this formula, let's go ahead to apply. Therefore, perimeter is going to be equal to the length 30.8 plus the width 28, all of this multiplied by 2. If you correctly punch, we should have 117.6. Of course, never forget the unit of perimeter, which is in meters. The next thing now is the area. As usual, let's write the most relevant formula for area. So we will say area of perimeter is given by length times width. All the elements are already present. So numerically, we will have the length, which is 30.8, times the width, which is 28. If you have followed up to now, please give us the final answer in the comment section. And don't forget to emphasize that the unit for area is the square meter. Tomorrow will be better.